So we do have some good news, and finally it is a victory for us here in the United States, because the Biden administration finally did something that is going to be instrumental to the US and to the American people. And according to many media outlets, they're calling this a victory for Americans and our country as a whole. But better yet, this is going to bring down the costs for the American people. The costs that you and I face are coming down. This is good news because right now inflation is still at 5%. Now, if you are tired of hearing about high prices and you want to see some relief, then go ahead and hit that like button. Now, what exactly am I talking about, and how much will it impact all of us and our wallets? Well, I will get to that in just a minute. But first, you need to understand that the Biden administration was being seen as never approving this. This was something that was never going to happen. And the fact that it was approved, as of right now, many people question what the intentions are. Because we know this is going to be a huge win for the American people, but why? Why is this happening right now? Well, here's what happened. The Biden administration approved an 807-mile natural gas pipeline in Alaska. They're calling this the Willow Oil Project. This was originally created back in, I believe, 2014, and after years of back and forth and environmental impact studies, it was projected to be constructed in May of 2020. Well, it all got put on hold. And according to the state-owned Alaska Gasline Development Corporation, or the AGDC, they say, and I quote, "With this supplemental record of decision, the Biden administration has reaffirmed the authorization for and climate benefits of the Alaska LNG project as liquid natural gas, which will provide Alaskans and U.S. allies with a significant source of low emissions, responsibly produced energy consistent with international environmental priorities." Now, here's what you need to know. This is going to create, more oil. This is going to give us more energy. This is a good thing. Now, the Biden administration has been adamant that there would be no drilling on U.S. federal land, and he said this many times. And then he goes on and approves something like this. Now, over the past, and again, we've been talking about this a little bit for the past month, but why? Well, I've been getting a lot of questions on this. And according to reports, the Biden administration had to do something. They needed to find a way to bring down energy costs for the American people, and this was seen as the best way to do it. Because keep in mind, what Democrats want and the Biden administration is keen on is clean energy. Figuring out a way to make sure EV is the next big thing. And again, I've talked about many times before, and I've been telling people that EV is going to happen, but it's not going to happen without a cost, and it can't happen overnight. You can't just flip a switch and all of a sudden we go from using energy and oil or consuming energy through oil to switching over to electric. It's just not going to happen. And the fact that the Biden administration approved this prior to OPEC Plus cutting production, this is very telling of what they were looking at. Because even though the White House came out and said that the cuts from OPEC Plus, this was seen out of the blue, something that they did not expect. Well, the truth is that according to many reports, that the Biden administration knew something like this was coming. And they knew it was coming because prices for gas kept going down. Why? Because oil prices were going down. And we've seen this time and time again. As oil prices decline, what happens is we do see OPEC decide to come out and make some cuts, make some adjustments. Why? Because they need to reduce the supply. As demand comes down, and the reason why demand was coming down is because there's a global recession. That's the expectation. Well, if we have a global recession, that means not as many people are filling up their vehicles. You want to fill up your boat? Well, if you don't have the money, you can't do it. Want to fill up your RV and travel across the country? Well, good luck without gas. So that is why OPEC decided to make some production cuts. Well, according to these reports, the reason why the Biden administration had to do something now is because they decided if we give a little now, we can ask for more later. Because what comes next year? Well, this is when voters are going to decide who will be the next president. Will it be President Biden? Will it be former President Donald Trump? Will it be somebody else? Ron DeSantis? Right? Gavin Newsom? Mike Pence? We don't know. We have no clue. Now, you also need to understand this, and that is that right now, there's not 100% support for this project. Roughly 67% of Americans believe that this is going to benefit the United States. The other 33% believe that this is essentially just a climate bomb waiting to go off. But here's the truth. The truth that the United States has to figure out a way to become energy independent. And using clean energy and using electricity, right, and running our vehicles like that, that's a great option. That's an incredible solution. However, it's not a solution that we can just flip a switch and go from using fuel to using electricity. It doesn't work like that. And so this is why some are saying that we have to be patient. It's not going to just come through with one administration. It has to be consistently worked on. And even though Republicans are all for using our own oil and drilling here on the United States or inside the United States, the thing is, eventually we have to go look for outside sources. One of those could be using EV, right? Going nuclear, right? There's a lot of different options, right? Hydroelectricity. Again, a lot of things here. Now, even though some groups have already filed lawsuits to stop this Willow Oil project, a federal judge just this month, they rejected both claims. This judge rejected both claims, saying that the Willow Oil project will go on. Now, this obviously has many Americans just ecstatic about what is to come, because the goal has always been to make the United States energy independent. And according to some surveys, 80% of Americans support this idea, while the other 20% do not. And right now, when EV is still a work in progress, experts believe that tapping into our own oil is the only way to finally be able to break free from other countries. Again, being energy independent is key. So at this point, this is not just a goal. According to experts, this is a must, not a goal. So, wanted to fill you in on this because, again, I didn't talk a lot about this when it first started to break. There's more people talking about it now. Why? Well, the project's really getting underway. It's really getting underway now. They're starting to make some moves. This is good news because, again, this is going to bring down our costs. And the reason why, and again, a lot of people say, oh, this is only going to send energy and oil to other countries, to our allies, right? Well, yes, even though, if we send any oil to our allies, guess what that means? We're sending oil to them, right? Probably selling it at a higher cost than what we're getting it at, right? Here's the good thing. If we send oil even to our allies, that means they're not buying as much oil from other countries, which means it will become cheaper. The fact of the matter is this: we need to make sure that we are producing oil. We're getting enough energy, right? And so if we have to drill, that's what we got to do. And then again, I bring this up because this was something that the Biden administration, and again, I bring this up because nobody thought this was ever going to get approved. Nobody. That they had delay tactics that they're using, and that was it. But the fact of the matter is, it did get approved. They are starting on this. This is a big win for the American people, but how long is this going to last? Is this a calculated decision because something else is coming in the near future? Well, it could be. But as of right now, we just don't know. So, as soon as I get more information as to what is going on here and how this is going to help you, myself, and our wallets, I promise I will bring you all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.